Classic.
Hey, and welcome to another episode of Full Metal Classic. I'm definitely not Amaru, but I'm here to host this one. It's going to be a fun one today. Over here we've got Brandon. Brandon, how's it going?
It's going well. I'm excited to be back. Didn't go so well last time. But I got Steve and Richie in here, so I'm sure it's going to go just swimmingly for me. So, see what happens.
Next up, we've got Maria. Maria, how's it going?
Going well. Last time I got past the first round into the second and didn't make it to the third, but that was progress. So we'll see.
It definitely is progress. Also, here we've got Richie. Richie, how's it going?
Yeah, no, going good, Malcolm. I just aiming to get past the first round, just baby steps. You wouldn't think it, but I have won one of these things once before. I might be on a bit of delay, so just bear with me for a bit. But yeah, internet's being weird, but yeah, no, looking to have fun.
We've also got Robert here. Robert, how's it going?
Oh, Malcolm, I'm just a man on the internet hoping to win a trivia thing. So, what more can you ask for?
And last but not least, we've got the person that everyone's going to try and stop getting his fourth win, Steve Mesa. Steve, how's it going?
Whoa.
I'm doing very good, but listen, I don't think I've ever faced Robert here. So it's a pleasure to meet a fellow movie connoisseur, trivia master. So we'll see. May the best man win.
Not entirely true. I played you when I got my first win ever last year.
All right. So
Steve blocked it out.
that's why. You know why? That's why.
And he knows the rest of us aren't important.
It never happens.
But with that being said, how Classic works is there's 3 rounds. The first round is just 8 questions in 8 different categories. Everyone gets 3 repeats. Just because we're live, no challenges. We do have an issue of a question. We can bring it up afterwards. We can talk about it and all that. But that being said, the most important rule is keep your hands on screen and have fun. The first question comes in horror/thriller. In 1985's Fright Night, Chris Sarandon plays what kind of horror creature?
Found a better location this time around where I can actually keep my hands up instead of literally putting my hands up. Just resting my elbows on the table.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pens down. Brandon.
Vampire.
Maria.
Vampire.
Richie.
Vampire.
Robert.
Chris Sarandon was just at the Fan Expo in Dallas that I was at a couple weeks ago. Vampire.
And Steve.
He's a vampire.
Vampire is correct. Next question comes in classics. Who plays the titular character in 1936's Mr. Deeds Goes to Town?
Oh, sorry. Forget about the fingers.
It's all good. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pens down. Maria.
Jimmy Stewart.
Richie.
Yeah, that seems right. I said Humphrey Bogart.
Robert.
I said Cary Grant.
Steve.
Is it James Stewart?
Brandon.
James Stewart.
We go from a clean sweep to a dirty sweep. It's Gary Cooper.
Yeah, right.
I wondered after I remember the year. I went, oh no, that's probably
There's literally
true.
a mural of that outside my house. And I didn't know.
We were close.
The next question comes in action/adventure. What military ranking did Maximus have in Gladiator?
I didn't see go. I saw O, and I thought that was Aaron being like, "Oh." Why did you miss that Gary Cooper question? Which I've definitely heard like 3 times in my life.
1 pins down. Richie.
I said general.
Robert.
General of the Armies of the North. General.
Steve.
General.
Brandon.
I didn't get it.
General.
Ma'am,
Sorry, I jumped the gun.
That's all right. The next question comes in biopics. Tom Cruise plays pilot Barry Seal in what biopic? And I actually forgot to mention at the start of the show, these questions were written by a Mr. Andrew James Barr.
Oh, no! Damn it!
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pins down. Robert.
American Made.
Steve.
I had American Air.
Brandon.
I had American Made and I put Born on the 4th of July.
Maria.
I put dark somethings. I forgot.
Richie.
American Made.
American Made is correct. The next question comes in fantasy/sci-fi. How many people get sent from the real world into the television city in Pleasantville? This is a very underrated movie. I think
Can I
it's
get a
very
repeat of that
enjoyable.
question, please?
Yep. In fantasy/sci-fi, how many people get sent from the real world into the television city in Pleasantville?
Oh, hands. Jesus Christ, I gotta get this.
And 5, 4,
God damn it,
3,
Bart. Get the
2,
hell out of here.
1. Pins down.
Mobile.
Steve.
2.
Brandon.
2.
Maria.
2.
Richie.
I said 2. Tobey Maguire analogy.
And Robert.
Dose.
2 is correct. The next question comes in drama. In what 2021 drama would you find performances from Denzel Washington and Frances McDormand? And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pins down. Brandon.
The Tragedy of Macbeth.
Maria.
I just said Macbeth.
Richie.
I got the wrong book. I wanted Hamlet.
Robert.
Yeah, I didn't have that.
Steve.
The Tragedy of Macbeth.
Tragedy of Macbeth is correct. I cannot accept just Macbeth, unfortunately, because the full title
That
is
figures.
Tragedy of Macbeth. The next question comes in Anthony Tisdale's favourite category, directors. Who directed The Lighthouse?
Malcolm, you broke up a little bit for me. Did you say The Lighthouse?
I did say The Lighthouse.
Okay. Thank you. That's what I thought.
He said Lightyear.
Well, I have no clue about that. So.
3, 2, 1. Pins down. Maria.
I didn't have it.
Richie.
Robert Eggers.
Robert.
Yeah, the G himself, Robert Eggers.
Steve.
Robert Eggers.
Brandon.
Robert Eggers.
Robert Eggers is correct. The last question comes in musicals.
Of course.
How is Bernardo killed in West Side Story? I'm pretty sure it's the same in both versions, so I didn't feel I needed to specify. Then again, Andrew didn't specify either. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pins down. Richie,
Not sure. I said hit by a car.
Robert,
I went with the classic shot.
Steve,
Stabbed.
Brandon,
Stabbed.
Maria.
Stabbed.
Stabbed is correct. But but after round 1, the score is Steve is in the lead on 6 points. Richie, Robert, and Brandon are tied on 5 points. So unfortunately, we do have to say goodbye to Maria. 4 points, but it was a very close one. But you're all welcome to just hang out backstage.
Sure.
Yep.
Thank you. Thanks for the opportunity. Appreciate it.
But with that, we move over to round 2. And with round 2, I'm going to get numbers from people. And then whoever's number comes up gets to pick the category that we ask questions from. The categories that we have is movie presidents, movies based on YA novels, 70s movies, Oscars, and war. Also the secret category, which I will reveal if someone wants to take it. But with that, Steve, you're in the lead. Give me 2 numbers between 1 and 7.
1 and 5.
Out of these people, Richie was the first in. So it's just because there's a tie for second place. I'm going to give one of yours. But so Richie, give me 2 numbers between 1 and 7.
Okay. 3 and 7.
3 and 7. Robert, give me a number between 1 and 7.
4.
And Brandon, do you want
2?
2? I was about to say, do you want 2 or 6? But you already answered it. Make sure. Yep, which means 6 will be the secret category if it lands on. And the wheel is spinning.
6. Damn.
It lands on 3, which means Richie gets to pick the category. Do you want me to repeat the options?
Yes, please.
So the categories are movie presidents, movies based on YA novels, 70s movies, Oscars, war, or you can take the secret category for double the points if you wish.
Okay. None of those really appeal to me, but I guess I'll go. I don't really want to go see category, so I'll go movies based on YA novel.
Movies based on YA novels. And Andrew was tempting you, but
No,
Right,
no,
first
no, no,
question-
I
Put that up a little late.
the first question in movies based on YA novels. Who plays Thomas in the Maze Runner franchise? Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pins down. Richie.
I'm not sure. Dylan O'Brien.
Robert.
Dylan O'Brien.
Steve.
Dylan O'Brien.
And Brandon.
Dylan O'Brien.
Dylan O'Brien is correct. The next question is, what number district is Katniss originally from in the Hunger Games?
Well, you know, it really helps for this category when you play Phantom. At least so far.
I have.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pins down. Steve,
I put down 13.
Brandon,
13.
Richie,
I put 12 because I don't.
Robert.
12.
13 is the correct answer.
Wait, what was the question?
What district was Katniss originally from? I'm actually going to double check that because
That's not right. It's 12. 13's the district that gets fired. It's where they take hold shelter in Mockingjay.
yeah, I know I said no challenges, but this is something I can quickly look up just to double check.
Fair.
Yeah, no, 12 is actually correct.
Yeah, okay, cool.
So Richie and Robert get the point.
Fandom alt champion Andrew Barr. Getting that wrong.
The next question is, what is the subtitle for 2013's The Mortal Instruments?
This movie sucks.
I mean, to be fair, there's not a lot of good movies based on YA novels.
It's true.
Why the hell did you take it, Richie? Jesus.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pins down. Brandon,
So like City of Machines.
Richie,
What? City of Bones.
Robert,
City of Bones.
Steve.
City of Ghosts.
City of Bones is correct.
Me and Robert are killing Scary.
This is what I would have picked had I got it. So.
And your final question is, in what movie will you find Saint Vladimir Academy?
Yes, I will at some point.
And 5, 4.
Repeat the question.
Yep. In what movie would you find Saint Vladimir Academy? And 5, 4,
I will
3.
as well, please.
Yep. In what movie would you find Saint Vladimir Academy? And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pens down. Richie.
Not sure. I said Divergent.
Robert.
This is what I did. I said beautiful creatures.
Steve.
I said Vampire Academy.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Brandon.
Divergent.
Vampire Academy is the correct answer. Which means, sadly, after round 2, Richie, Robert, and Steve are all tied on 8 points.
Yes, we are.
So I get second
Brandon-
place, right?
Well, yes, but unfortunately, you don't make it to round 3. So, I mean, I wish I could make that rule that you'll make round
You
3.
can. You're the host. No, it's fine.
But you can hang out backstage. Don't have to go anywhere straight away. But for now, going to backstage. Right, round 3. This is going to be interesting because everyone's tied on 8. Every time someone gets a question correct, you gain a point. Every time you get one wrong, you lose a point. Which means this could get really interesting. But with that, your first question is in recent releases. Mark Rylance and Zoe Deutsch star in what recent release?
No, this is
Badly disappointed.
3, 2,
Oh
1.
god.
Pins down. Richie,
Yeah, I couldn't pull it. No repeat would have done anything. So no.
Robert,
I couldn't remember. I said the underling.
Steve.
The outfit.
That's what it is.
The outfit is correct. And apparently it also says Delano Boy.
I knew who was in it. I just couldn't recall.
All right, the next question comes in the category of sports. In what city is the big tournament in the color of money?
A favorite of Andrew James Barr's partner, Kurt Kolakowski.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pins down. Robert,
Atlantic City.
Steve,
And New York.
and Richie.
Atlantic City makes a lot of sense. I said Philadelphia.
Atlantic City is correct. Next category is comic book movies. What comic book movie tells the tale of a man named Harvey Picard?
Jesus.
5, 4.
Extension. Repeat.
Yep. In comic book movies, what comic book movie tells the tale of a man named Harvey Picard? And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pins down. Steve,
American Splendor.
Richie,
I said The Spirit.
and Robert.
American Splendor.
American Splendor is correct. The next question comes in actors and actresses. Who has appeared in the following movies? Moonrise Kingdom, Alice Doesn't Live Here Anymore, and National Treasure. And 5.
Repeat.
Yep, in actors and actresses. Who has appeared in the following movies? Moonrise Kingdom, Alice Doesn't Live Here Anymore, and National Treasure.
I almost made a horrific mistake, I think.
5,
It'll be funny when the horrific mistake is I switched it from the right answer.
1. Pins down. Richie,
I said John Voight.
Robert,
Harvey Keitel.
and Steve.
Yeah,
Harvey Keitel.
Harvey Keitel is correct. We have one question left. Robert and Steve are tied on 10 points. Richie is on 4 points. So either Robert or Steve gets this last one correct, then either of them wins. But if both of them do, then it's a tie, and we go to sudden death.
Hooray!
The question comes in comedy.
Mm.
What instrument does Coy play in Inherent Vice? And Andrew wants to know what was the horrific mistake you almost made.
I almost said John Voight, and then I was thinking about the other old person who was in National Treasure, and it made more sense. Scorsese movie.
Good
2.
game, Cap. Good game, Robert.
It's down. Robert,
I said piano.
Steve,
I said flute.
Richie.
I said trumpet.
Ironically, Richie was closer, but the correct answer was saxophone.
Oh Oh wow.
Which means we still go to sudden death because both Robert and Steve didn't get it correct.
Mm-mm.
So I'm going to go back to the top. I'm going to alternate between the remaining questions and the categories we didn't pick. Richie, because you're not involved in this tiebreaker, do you want to give them which of the remaining categories do you want to give them for their first question? We've got movie presidents, 70s, Oscars, war, or the secret category.
You know what? I want to know what the secret category is. So
Well, the secret category was movie taglines.
Oh, fuck that.
What 2001 movie had the tagline "Family isn't a word, it's a sentence"?
damn it, I think it is.
Good game, guys.
And 5, 4,
Repeat.
3. Yep, and that was your last repeat there. What 2001 movie had the following tagline? Family isn't a word, it's a sentence. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pens down. Robert.
I didn't know. I said cheaper by the dozen.
Steve.
Is it the Royal Tenenbaums?
It is the Royal Tenenbaums.
Good job,
Which
Steve.
means, and your winner, Steve Mason. But I'm going to go round the board there. Maria, how do you feel about your performance today?
I thought I did pretty well. I wish I'd gotten the rest of the Macbeth, the name, and then I wish I'd remembered Gary Cooper. I was straining for a 36 guy, and I'm thinking, oh, Jimmy Stewart, maybe he's that old. I don't know. So yeah, I'm feeling good about my mishaps, but I wish I hadn't had them. But I'm glad you let me try, and I'm enjoying it. Thank you.
Yeah, and I will say if you did get complete that Macbeth one, you probably would have been tied with Brandon and would have gone to a tiebreaker. But Brandon, how did you feel about your performance?
I stink. No, I feel good. It was fun. There's a couple questions I had general. I overthought. There was a couple of questions. I overthink everything. So it's my curse. But good job, Steve.
Thanks, Brandon.
But Richie, how did you feel about your performance today?
Yes, definitely. Since Classic's been back, it's my better performance. To get it to round 3. I did pretty well in I think YA, which is surprising. That round 3 gets to me, but yeah, we'll remind people I have won this before, so it's just the luck of the question. So I'll be back, and I'll be back, and congrats, Steve. Good luck in Snowball.
Hey, at least you've won it before. I still yet to win one.
I'd be happy to go with round 3.
That sums up me quite a lot. I do make it to round 3 a lot, but yet I never managed to win. But Robert, how did you feel about your performance today?
You cut out a little. I assume you asked how I did. I'm back in normal position at number 2. That's pretty standard, and I'm bad at overtime in this. I blame Richie for choosing secret category though, so it's his fault, not mine. No, I'm just kidding. No, good game with Steve. I should have used a repeat on Tragedy Macbeth. I just blanked. There's things I just blank on, and that was one of them. And I knew the outfit, I heard that from an interview once, and just never committed it to memory. So, my fault.
I don't know. I now really want the Coens to continue the Shakespeare training. We get a tragedy of Hamlet or something with Dead Sound Plus McDormand in it. But Steve, you got your 4th win. You made it to Snowball. How do you feel?
Man, it feels good actually. So I'm not gonna play Classic until December. So it's kind of a little relaxing that I can kind of take a break from it. But yeah, I wanted to be the first person to enter Snowball. I made that one of my goals for the starting of Classic, and I was able to achieve that goal. So being able to be the first one to win Snowball, for me, it's quite an achievement. And the next step is to actually win Snowball. So we'll see what happens in December.
But with that being said, that is the end of Classic for this week. I don't know if I'll have a match done for Sunday to do that one off like I was initially planning last week, but yeah, but there will definitely be one next Thursday. So yeah, but for all of us here, we'll see you next week. And I'll just throw out a plug for random too. On Sunday, there's a random on Star Trek Next Generation, and then
Ooh.
on Monday is Hawaii Five-0. But so
That'll be good.
oh yeah. But with that being said, this is the end of Classic for this week. So yeah.
And thanks to you, that's over now, and you've ruined that for me.